Revolution Broadcasting. The revolution won't be televised, but it will be broadcast.
Hello.
Gary Franchi. This is Revolution Broadcasting, Amanda Moore and Wayne Johnson. And we are here we're going to do an intervention with you, man. We heard that you were promoting freedom, and we know that can get you in trouble. You're live, Gary. You're live.
We're live. Okay, we're live. All right.
Yeah, we're doing this thing trying to help our brother Peter Schiff, who we think has got some. We think that Peter has had a couple of pretty good ideas, and we don't think that well is dry. And we think that maybe if we get him into the Senate, if we should deserve a man like Peter Schiff to be one of our leaders, then we think that he might have some more ideas still yet in that well where he's been drawing them out of.
Well, I think Peter. I don't know where he stands on a lot of issues. But I do know that I agree with him on the economic and financial issues. So I can definitely support him in that effort. Well, what I do find interesting, and this just came out yesterday, I don't know if you guys have talked about it. Dodd has just come out and stated he has prostate cancer. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was an interesting turn, or revelation, because it can affect my run for Senate. So I don't know if it's an angle that can be exploited or should be exploited, but nonetheless, they're talking about his Senate run already because they know that Peter Schiff is going to, throw his hat in the ring. How has the donations been coming in so far?
Well, we don't have donations yet. We have pledges. Our donations won't be coming in until August the 7th. But as far as pledges go, we have over 6,000.
It's 6,511 pledges right now. And yesterday, this is over 100 from what it was sometime last night. Whenever I took a look at it. So they're coming in.
Well, I know that the Republic members have been talking about it on the website, and they're definitely.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, whenever I was
going on? I mean, how have people been? I know you guys have had a lot of guests on today, and how have they been feeling about the Schiff money box?
They love Peter Schiff, man. Jim Capo was on with the JBS, Orly Tates Esquire, the lady that's fighting Obama and asking him for his birth certificate. She's filed those papers and asked for him to produce that birth certificate. Then Darrell Castle came on, Sam Mataro, Tom Cryer, and now the great and mighty Gary Franchi. I tell you what. We've had some good guests, and we appreciate you coming on with us today too, Gary.
You were breaking up. What did you say?
I said we appreciate you coming on with us today, Gary.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. You guys are doing great work, and I really applaud your efforts in organizing this money bomb. It seems like every corner I turn, there's another for a new candidate, and I remember watching Ron Paul Schiff on Freedom Watch. I believe it was Freedom Watch, and he was talking about how he would return all the money to the people who donate to his campaign if he decided not to run. And I thought that was such a noble thing to say.
Right. Well, that's what the purpose of the day is, of course, the Schiffathon. That would be Schiffathon. Hey, man, that's kind of like the Jerry Lewis telethon. We need to get pledges. And we have a caller, by the way. I think he would like to speak with Gary Franchi. He's a caller from 860. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, it's Dan Real. How's it going over there?
Dan Real, you're the man. Hey, we're doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. We had a tea party in Hartford on July 7th with Peter Schiff. He was there speaking. We actually had 1,000 people turn out, which was double the tea party in the next size over. And in the next size over, the speaker at that tea party was Rob the Waterboard Simmons, who would be one of Schiff's primary opponents. And he's a typical Republican that is coming around saying he's for small government when he tripled the size of government in Congress. So I just wanted to say this. If you haven't already pledged, you haven't already donated, you already haven't signed up to volunteer for Peter Schiff, you should really do it. As it stood last time, the first time I ran for Congress, well, I had more volunteers than the two-party system in my district. And the people in Connecticut are just really tired of the same candidates. So right off the bat, Peter's probably going to have about 100 people working for him. And Connecticut is a small state. So on top of those pledges, I know you would question about how much money was raised. I did check into it a little bit. I believe there was a Peter Schiff website that used to be up. As far as I knew, they'd already raised over $30,000 for him, which in my mind, that should be enough for him to throw in. But I think this money bomb is going to break all records on the 7th, to be honest with you.
Well, I think you're right. I think this is going to break the records, and that's what we're hoping, because we can't get attention from the mainstream media, even though Peter is a mainstream media darling, so to speak. They really like him because now they realize that what he was predicting in 2006 actually came to pass here in 2008 and 2009, and they know now that he is dead on, accurate, and you know, so they've been following it. But now, since of course he is going to be running for Senate, they have their marching orders, and they are going to be told to ignore him to the biggest extent. So we have to get earned media. The way to do that is to make history. $1 million for Peter Schiff on August 7th. The Schiffathon is on. It is time to raise that kind of money for Peter Schiff. We can do it. There's no doubt in my mind. There's enough patriots with enough intestinal fortitude and money out there that they can make this thing happen. And they really need to. Peter Schiff said that he would give the money back should he decide not to run. But let me tell you something. I think he's already made that decision. I believe he's going to run. I can't put words in his mouth, but it certainly looks that way. He's gearing up and he's getting ready. But we need that $1 million in order to make it happen, because he could say, I just don't think it'll work without support. And if we show him that we're behind him, we can do it.
Amanda, I hate to interrupt you, but you know how much $1 million would be to Peter Schiff? $250,000 more than what Rob the Waterboard Simmons raised to date. So he would start the race as the #1 Republican fundraising candidate.
Yay! Wow, we need to really get on this, folks. And he's only 3% behind Dodd right now. What'd you say, Gary?
I've heard that. I was going to say, congressional runs, from what I've heard, I may be wrong, usually cost somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000 to win. Is that about right?
No, it's usually more than that. It's usually more than that. If you've got an incumbent, somebody who's very entrenched in D.C., who has a lot of connections, just like Lindsey Graham for the Senate here, he raised almost $2 million for his race against Bob Conley. Now, Bob Conley only raised something like $50,000, but guess what? Bob Conley got 43% of the vote without the money. Could you imagine, had the Patriots gotten behind Bob Conley, we could have taken out Lindsey Graham. I don't know what the Patriot movement was thinking of.
Well, I would definitely love to see some of these career politicians out. People like Dodd and Graham. These guys are fixtures in the Senate, and they need to be removed. And we need to have fresh voices, fresh perspectives. Peter Schiff is definitely one of them, especially because he understands the economy. He understands what's going on in the country. He understands the Federal Reserve System. And just that alone